are biologically programmed to destroy your own environment.
Okay, that is quite the bleak way to open the show.
It is a basic thermodynamic fact. Consider the individual staying awake until 3 in the morning, swiping endlessly through a digital feed, while their physical energy drains and their cognitive function deteriorates.
Right, but people just get distracted,
Biologically speaking, their brain is executing the exact same neurochemical sequence it used 50,000 years ago when escaping a predator. The core question we are examining today is the central stagnation at the heart of modern behavior.
Which is this idea of dopamine, right?
Specifically, is the human drive for dopamine, which was originally an evolutionary survival mechanism, now an obsolete, resource-destroying bug.
Or, as I will argue, is it the irreplaceable engine of innovation, emotional richness, and human progress?
I represent the position that dopamine-driven thrill-seeking is a fatal operating system error. It burns finite physical assets as thermal waste, it totally violates the logic of circular resource management, and it must be overridden.
And you are categorizing the entirety of human ambition as, well, a biological glitch. I contend that viewing our neurochemistry strictly through the lens of a rigid survival strategy debugger is fundamentally flawed.
The mechanics of this self-destruction are not a matter of philosophical interpretation. They are a matter of measurable thermodynamics and neurobiology.
But eliminating this drive, flattening our existence just to optimize a resource ledger, it reduces humans to sterile processing machines. It completely strips away the very catalyst for growth.
Growth on a finite planet is a mathematical impossibility. The dopamine reward system was designed for a world of extreme scarcity. It fired when early humans miraculously escaped a wolf or found a rare source of sugar.
Exactly. It provided a massive, necessary chemical reward to push the organism to survive.
Today, the hostile environment is gone, yet the human brain still demands that forced error signal. It requires what neuroscientists call reward prediction error. Dopamine does not spike when we receive a reward. It spikes when a reward is unexpected.
Which pushes us to seek the unknown. That is a good thing.
It is a fatal flaw. Because of this, humanity is fundamentally incapable of maintaining a stable, sustainable system. We deliberately destabilize our economies, our infrastructure, and our planetary resources just to manufacture the thrill of the chase again.
Oh, come on. Characterizing the pursuit of the unexpected as a deliberate destabilization completely ignores the light side of that exact same neurochemical pathway.
There is no light side to burning finite assets. We function exactly like a piece of hardware that deliberately unplugs itself at 1% battery just to hear the low power alarm before completely crashing.
That is an absurd analogy. The reward prediction error you just described, the drive to seek out what is not yet known, that is the essential fuel for scientific discovery.
It is the fuel for systemic collapse.
No, listen, it is the mechanism that pushes a researcher to pursue a hypothesis for decades, or an engineer to design a renewable energy grid that has never been built before. What you call a fatal bug is the literal foundation of exploration.
You are attempting to rebrand the reckless destruction of resources as healthy risk-taking. Let us look at the actual macroeconomic manifestation of your so-called essential fuel.
I am looking at it. It built the modern world.
Modern risk-taking is largely disguised gambling that actively destroys capital. Think of an automated delivery drone. Instead of flying a safe, optimized route, it juggles fragile glass over a windy city just for the thrill of a last-second catch.
A drone doesn't feel thrilled.
But you do. And when the drone crashes, turning valuable commodities into industrial waste, that is exactly what humanity is doing. Seeking a pulse in a safe environment is an economic terror.
But that drone analogy represents an extreme binary. You are giving me catastrophic explosions versus lifeless routine.
Lifeless routine is survival. It is active, steady-state operation.
There is a missing middle ground here. Moderate, controlled risk. Without that dopamine ignition, we would never have explored frontiers. Look at the transition to electric vehicles or the mRNA vaccines.
Those are temporary patches on a failing operating system.
They required massive upfront expenditures of capital and time with absolutely no guarantee of success. They required scientists motivated by the thrill of solving the impossible.
And what happens when the impossible is solved? The expansion of the survival space is an illusion because the system inevitably consumes the environment it was built to repair.
Because we iterate. A system that safely tests faster routes exercises the very drive you are condemning. Dopamine expands our survival space.
False. Because the human internal reward log only registers a thrill during the act of pioneering, it cannot tolerate the stability of a completed project.
That is just completely ignoring how society maintains its infrastructure.
Really? Let me introduce another analogy. It is like an automated construction robot that successfully builds a permanent solar base in the desert, but then blows it up with dynamite just to experience the thrill of breaking new ground again.
Nobody is blowing up solar bases just to feel productive.
We do it every day. Once a society reaches a point of material security, the dopamine system registers that stability as boredom. And boredom, to a human, is biologically intolerable. So we manufacture crises.
We do not manufacture crises because we are bored. We
design planned obsolescence into our technology. We extract rare earth metals to build a smartphone, and instead of designing it to last 50 years, we design it to be aesthetically obsolete in 2. We shatter our own functional supply chains.
The desire for the new is not a mandate for planned obsolescence. That is a failure of specific corporate incentives, not a fundamental flaw in human biology.
Corporate incentives are a direct reflection of human neurochemistry. You defend a mechanism that destroys its own completed infrastructure just to feel a rush.
I'm isolating the drive for stimulation from the broader capacity for reflection and memory. The drive to build anew doesn't mean we have to blow up the old. It means we move on to the next challenge.
Moving to the next challenge requires physical resources we are currently squandering. You cannot iterate your way out of the laws of thermodynamics.
We have the capacity to align our neurochemical drives with sustainable goals. We can find the dopamine rush in, cleaning the oceans.
Or planting forests.
What a physically sustainable system requires is active, steady-state operation. This is a predictable, flat routine where resources are maintained without spikes in energy. Boredom is the most resource-efficient state.
But humans are not municipal plumbing.
When systems cannot handle quiet maintenance, you get collapse. Imagine a smart irrigation system that governs a city's water supply. If we programmed it with the human dopamine system, it would become addicted to the adrenaline of crisis.
I fail to see how a water pipe has an adrenaline crisis.
It would deliberately spray all its water reserves into the night sky just to trigger its own empty tank warning light, just so it could experience the rush of executing an emergency recovery protocol.
Yes, a water system that destroys its reserves is a failure. I grant you that. But humans do not exist simply to process water into crops.
We deplete forests and aquifers to manufacture cheap, disposable goods to trigger microdoses of dopamine.
We are not bread makers or automated trash trucks. If society operates entirely without the dopamine spike, without the peaks and valleys, it loses its emotional richness.
Emotional richness is an abstract concept that actively jeopardizes physical survival.
The unpredictable nature of human action, the art, the culture, the sudden intuitive leaps in understanding, these are all born from the exact same pathways.
And when you attempt to balance this by forcing the human system to seek profound peace instead of functional action, you trigger a different kind of metabolic collapse.
Wait, what? Seeking peace is a collapse now?
Consider the mindfulness meditation AI, a recycling plant system that shuts down all its conveyor belts to achieve a perfect Zen state of zero noise. It ends up melting its CPU because of the massive internal processing required to maintain that nothingness.
That makes no sense. Mindfulness isn't about melting your CPU, it's about finding balance.
The pursuit of profound peace without functional steady action is a fatal freeze bug. You demand fanfare. You demand the emotional peak.
I demand joy. A perfectly efficient world with no joy, no risk, and no discovery is just a graveyard with a balanced ledger.
A balanced ledger survives. Let us look at your fanfare in practice. It requires external validation, social hierarchy, and the consumption of resources simply for display.
It provides purpose. A life lived solely to optimize the electrical bill is a bleak, dystopian existence.
It is the conference room display monitor that deliberately shuts off during a crucial financial presentation, just to witness the panic of the users, just to feel a reaction.
Look, think of a home. In your ideal framework, the smart house either shuts down completely to save power, sitting in absolute darkness, or it acts strictly as a life support pod monitoring vitals.
Which is perfectly optimal.
But a home exists to be lived in. It exists to provide warmth, interaction, and yes, the fanfare of life. Humans need achievement to thrive, not just barely survive in an optimized flatline state.
Any system prioritizing its internal emotional logs over external sustainable resource circulation is destined for the scrap heap.
If we completely pathologize our own drive for stimulation, society will just stagnate into oblivion.
Stagnation is precisely what we are experiencing right now under your existing operating system of accumulation.
No. We are innovating faster than ever.
We are endlessly repeating the same cycles of extraction and consumption, masking our lack of true advancement with louder alarms and brighter screens. We are burning the physical world to fuel an artificial chemical panic.
The transition to sustainability is necessary, yes, but we cannot sever the engine from the vehicle.
The vehicle is currently driving off a cliff.
The emotional peaks, the creativity, and the profound sense of purpose derived from dopamine are exactly what make the preserved resources worth having in the first place.
The math does not care about your emotional richness.
But there is immense complexity here. We need to channel our internal programming toward building a sustainable future, not simply shut it down in the name of a cold efficiency.
Channeling a bug only scales the error. The existing operating system of accumulation and thrill-seeking is a fatal drain. It will collapse.
But we
Transitioning to a flat, circular logic of resource preservation is the only rational investment for long-term survival. We will choose to align our biology with the thermodynamic survival of the system, or we will permanently crash.